to rescue those two people from their car due to flood waters. But you can see here on the road there was definitely some water on the roadways. You see a sign here that says high water, so there's definitely signs of there was potentially some flood waters here. But thankfully in that case, crews were able to rescue those two people from the vehicle. And again, you can just see this log here or tree trunk here that was definitely probably brought out by the floodwaters. So, you know, this is stuff you got to look out for, especially with the sun not being out right now. You got to look out for that debris on the roadway and also flooded waters. We know roads near creeks and rivers definitely have water on them, so you just want to be on the lookout for those. But you know, most of the main roads that we've seen here in the Springfield area are clear. But you know, if you do come across a flooded street, do not drive on it. Turn around, don't drown. That's what they always say, because you do not know what is underneath that water. You don't know if the road is flushed out or not. But we're going to continue to stay out here in Storm 5 Titan, tracking road conditions for you. But I'm going to send it back to the studio to Amy.
Aaron, thank you so much. Now, this bad weather comes as Severe Weather Awareness Week kicks off. And News Channel 5's Cole Johnson live in Germantown for us with how you and your family can prepare. And Cole, this time, you know, last year on March the 3rd, Germantown, of course, was one of the scenes where the tornado just tore right through.
Yeah, absolutely, Amy. I mean, with this week, you can't help but think back to March 3rd. It's just going to be in just a few days that we're marking that 1-year anniversary. So people are in their minds thinking, how can we continue to stay safe? And with Severe Awareness Weather Week, you can learn a little bit about that. So the National Weather Service actually will have some online talks each day this week about different types of severe weather. I talked with News Channel 5 meteorologist Heather Mathis about the weather we can experience here in Middle Tennessee. And a big reminder from her is be prepared, have a plan, even practice as a family where to go in the event of tornado warnings like we just saw yesterday.
Typically, the tornadoes that we get here in Middle Tennessee are on the weaker side. Generally, we get EF0 to EF2 rated tornadoes in Middle Tennessee, but March 3rd is a reminder that while they are rare, significant and violent tornadoes like EF3 and EF4s can certainly happen here, and that's why you need to have a plan in place.
Now, I know this week, just reflecting back, those tornadoes destroyed so much and affected so many communities. And for some of us, it was personal.
It destroyed my elementary school. It destroyed my middle school in Mount Juliet. It destroyed my husband's school, Donaldson Christian Academy. So it really hit home for me. It was more than just a historic tornado event for many people. It was life-changing for a lot of folks in my hometown, and the devastation is still there a year later.
Really, that weather can come at a moment's notice.
No doubt about it, Cole. Thank you so much. And of course, Heather's perspective as well. Hey, you have to stay prepared, right? One of the best things you can do to prepare for severe weather is to download our Storm Shield app. It does send you updates for your exact location straight to your phone. And the best part is it is free. You can find it on the App Store and in Google Play. Amy?
All right, and switching gears now, Ben, to the rebound from COVID-19. Tennessee lifted visitation restrictions yesterday at long-term care facilities, but that doesn't mean you can walk right in. The Department of Health changed those rules after 100% of nursing homes and long-term care facilities completed both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. However, there are still federal guidelines from the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. Indoor visits can only happen if a facility has not had a COVID-19 case in 2 weeks and isn't testing for an outbreak. Facilities can also make their specific visitation policies so it's safe to call before you visit. And in the last year, nearly 19,000 long-term care facility residents have gotten sick. 2,600 of them have died. And Ben, that is a death rate of close to 14%.
Yeah, it's hard to hear, Amy, and this Friday does mark 1 year since the first case of the virus was confirmed here in Tennessee. And the city of Nashville has been through so many ups and downs in the last 12 months, as you well know. Some good news, though. We are seeing improvements with the metrics that health experts look at when they're assessing how we're progressing toward getting back to normal. Right now, as you can see on your screen, none of the metrics are at unacceptable levels. Remember, just before Thanksgiving, the situation here in Nashville was much different. Half of those metrics were still in the red. Now, even more help's on the way to get our world back to normal. We're told doses of the new coronavirus vaccine are expected to arrive here in Tennessee as early as today. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine has now been fully approved by the FDA, making it the first single-dose shot to get the green light. The FDA says the vaccine is slightly less effective than Moderna and Pfizer's versions, but showed complete protection against COVID deaths 28 days after the shot is given. And Amy, right now it's still not clear how many doses the state will get, but our health commissioner says it could be as many as 40,000.
Boy, that would be nice. Ben, thank you. Big steps are being taken north of the state line to keep folks safe. Starting today, anyone 60 and older in Kentucky can get a vaccination appointment. The state's moving into Phase 1C, which allows anyone that's over 16 with a high-risk condition to get vaccinated as well. And if you have to go out today, whether it is to get your vaccine or to school or to work, it is wet out there, to say the least. Let's check in with Lelan right now for a look at this forecast. And Lelan, when are we going to get this rain out of here?
All right, we're getting on out of here right now. There's still some showers in our southern areas, but the southern areas weren't hit as hard yesterday with the rain as what we saw over the Kentucky counties. Now, because of this, storm watch lit up this morning. Got several counties that are going to be closed today, and then several running on a delay. That list is at the bottom of the screen, but it kind of gives you an idea of where we had some of the worst issues with flooding from last night and this morning. So be careful, especially on those rural roads. You may come up on an area that's flooded and may not realize it until you get right up on it without any street lights. There's a look at radar for you right now, and you see the showers extending from Sparta to Smithfield back over into Rutherford County. Heavier rain. We saw the Lawrenceburg camera a moment ago. There's the rain around Lawrenceburg, Giles County, and then down toward the Collinwood area for us this morning. So for the ride into school, still some showers south and then mostly cloudy and 53 later today. Our school of the day takes us up to Trigg County, Cadiz, Kentucky. Good morning, everybody over there at Trigg County. Last week they were celebrating FFA week, and it was Drive Your Tractor to School Day last week. So everybody over at Trigg County High, good morning to you. Right now the time is 5:11. Let's go back over to Ben.
I love to see it, Leland. Thank you so much for sharing that picture. Hey, millions of Americans impacted financially by the pandemic, which has amplified a big problem: food insecurity. How kids across the country are getting the help they need right now. Next.
It is 5:13. Welcome back. Some good news now on the nation's front lines.
That's right. The number of people in hospitals with COVID-19 has now fallen below 50,000 for the first time in nearly 4 months. Now, here in the volunteer state, that number is currently sitting at 878 right now. Infections across the country have slowed down, but are still nearing 30 million. The CDC says the UK variant is a top threat right now. It accounts for about 10% of cases here in the U.S. and has been confirmed in 44 different states. And another problem that's escalated since the start of this pandemic is food insecurity. According to Feeding America, nearly 1 million Tennesseans were food insecure in 2018, a number that's likely climbed since last year's spike in unemployment. Michael George has more.
A third-grade New Jersey girl burst into tears in the middle of her virtual class, confessing to teachers and fellow students that she was starving.
This 9-year-old just couldn't take it anymore.
That heartbreaking moment led an entire community to help, including New Jersey's former Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno, who manages a food bank called Fulfill.
This family has been offered not only immediate food, but food for groceries for 6 months.
The girl's mother lost her restaurant job almost a year ago.
This is happening across America, not just to this young girl.
This is not only America, this is happening in your backyard.
As of January, 40 million people live in a family where at least one adult lacks paid work, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. And the number of American children facing food insecurity has doubled from 14% to 28% since 2019. About 80% of the families in Los Angeles school district were in poverty before the pandemic began. Food drives like this can be life-saving for mothers like Sarah Swager.
My son is in special ed, and I'm gonna cry. You know, having to work from home and having to do his school stuff. It's very hard.
President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden toured a Houston food bank, a place working double time to meet the demands of a pandemic and a weather disaster. Those on the front line say America's hunger crisis will be a long fight.
Our hungry children are looking at 2 or 3 years, maybe longer, of need.
Food for thought for all Americans. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Good morning, everybody. Right now, 5:16 on a Monday morning. A lot of the rain out of here. Still watching the southern areas, but got to watch some of those counties that picked up several inches of rain. Some spots, a half a foot of rain, and that's problematic right now.
Yeah, such as Bowling Green. I mean, 5.5 inches just yesterday. We just got in that Christian County will be out of school today because of those flood-prone areas. And of course, our Rebecca Sliker has been on top of this from start to finish, and she will have some road details for you coming in shortly. Dixon is another one of those areas that are dealing with that delay. As far as the rain since overnight, close to 4/10 of an inch. But then you got to back up because this was a multi-day event. We had 2 inches Saturday. We added up some more yesterday. So all in all, over 3.5 inches for you guys. Still dealing with flash flood watches, warnings and watches in place. And even though areas to our north, you're just about wrapped up with the rain, all that rain's got to go somewhere. That water is filtering its way down into the rivers, creeks, and lakes, and that's going to be problematic in the hours to come. Right now, that heavy band is making its way closer into Waynesboro, as well as edging closer into portions of Shelbyville, just south of Murfreesboro right now, and then easing over into Sparta, Crossville. This is some heavy and steady rain. Visibilities are also altered, and there's quite the difference from who's dealing with what. Temperature-wise, we're coming in 40 in Paducah, 44 in Bowling Green. You head down to our south, near 60 in Birmingham. Now, friendly reminder, Murray, this is out of lunch. You're coming in at 44 for your actual temperature. Elsewhere, we've got 52 in Cookeville, 56 over in Fayetteville. Here's what we're looking at as far as some of our rivers are concerned. This is Port Royal. They're anticipated to head to a moderate flood stage in the next few hours. And then another example for us over around Old Hickory Dam, looking to edge up as well. So all this water, Leland, has to go somewhere, and it's heading into those rivers, creeks, and lower lying areas. We're not in the clear yet.
No, so be careful out there. And again, if you're on one of those rural roads that doesn't have a lot of street lights, and especially in one of those counties where schools are either closed or delayed, take your time because you could run quickly up on an area where the road has been flooded. So watch that. And again, remember, turn around, don't drown. Here's a look at Exact Track as we go over the next hour or two. What's left of the rain will gradually begin to pull on out of our area for us out there. Into the afternoon, we'll look for a mostly cloudy sky. Some of our northern counties may luck into a ray or two of sunshine, but overall cloud cover out there. We got a chance to then dry out as we go through the day tomorrow. There's another little system that's going to push our way as we head toward Tuesday night and early on Wednesday. That one may bring a few showers to parts of the Mid-South. But here's what's up for us for today as we show you real sky. A lot of clouds this morning. Here in Nashville, the rain for the most part has come to an end. There may be a couple of sprinkles here and there, but the heavier widespread rain has come to an end. As we go through the day, temperatures pushing into the lower 50s. We'll push to about 53 or so for our high today, near the normal for day 1 of March, and our wind out of the north at about 5 to 10. Here now, your 7-day forecast for today. We're at 53 for tonight, 34, 55 tomorrow, and then 61 going into Wednesday. And then as we go through the rest of the week, a couple of dry days moving in.
I mean, and I think they're well deserved, don't you, Leland? 61 for our Thursday, Friday. You'll notice a few clouds, but rain chances, really nothing to worry about. We'll see that high of 57, and we're dry this weekend. First weekend in quite some time that it's not actually going to be too cold, dealing with winter weather, or of course heavy rain showers. So things are looking up for us.
All right, so right now the time is 5:20. Let's get a check of 5 Live traffic with Rebecca. Good morning.